What's going on, guys? Bringing another video tip to you. This is just basic body positioning stuff. I did a lesson this morning and I filmed basically what I go through and go over with body positioning and some different tips and different stuff. Breathing, looking ahead, some different things I go over with a new student. Some of you have been to my class before and might have heard it, but so it might be some positive reinforcement. Some of you might need to hear it again, but I'm sure and I guarantee that you'll get something out of it. So been off the YouTube grid for a little while, been busy, enjoying things. Been doing a lot of schools, personal, private one-on-ones during the week now. Something I love and value that I have the opportunity to do so. Enjoying that, doing some racing. Did a race last weekend, an enduro, Green Marble Enduro Riders. 6th overall. I'm okay with that for an old guy. Back in the day I wouldn't have been, young punk. But and it's cool because I got beat by kids that I have shoes that are older than some of these kids. Max Fernandez and these Ross boys, Sean Kohler, and some kids that are riding really well. Some other guy I can't pronounce his name. Hofen Tugler. I know he won Beehive last year, I think, and fast moto head from Pennsylvania, so he's riding really well. So it's cool. It's cool to see, you know, the enduros having some growth a little bit, and I think it did just because of the star control format, which is cool, and does help bring some new blood into it. Did a hair scrum a couple weeks ago. I had 3 laps in me, but it turns out it was a 4-lap race. Other than that, it was pretty good. Real technical, tough course, just like Green Marble was. Very technical and a tough course and a lot of fun. So I've been enjoying myself. Been off the grid, but here's my video tip, and it's just going to jump right into where I start talking with this class, or with this one-on-one with this kid I had this morning. Jackson was his first name, really cool first name, and his dad, who were avid riders and just getting into it. So pretty cool. It's coming at you. So kind of new to everything. What would you say? You know, being new, have you ever had any kind of schooling before? No?
Not really.
No? How long have you been riding?
I used to have like an old pit bike KLX 110 when I was in 7th, 6th grade,
Yeah.
something, and I rode that for a while. Then I didn't ride for like a year or so, and then my friends started getting back into dirt bikes, so I got that bike, and I've been riding for about a year. I got that bike last September.
I thought we got it in the spring. We got it in September. Bike's been out of commission. We had to do a whole new body.
Yeah.
150?
Bearing.
Yeah.
We're the 3rd owners. It was a used bike.
Cool. You're a good bike, though.
Yeah.
Really good bike. What would you say, in your opinion, you'd like to get out of today? No wrong answer.
It's just basic technique.
Basic?
I feel like I kind of I can do stuff, not the right way.
Okay.
Kind of just balls and throttle.
What's that?
Just kind of balls and throttle.
I like that. I like that. Just give it gas and use some balls, dude. Alright, I'm going to use that later, by the way. Alright, I always start off with body position stuff. Okay, body position stuff keeps you in better control of the motorcycle. It doesn't really help aid in any kind of going faster, but it does keep you off the ground, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so think of it as having better control over the dirt bike, leverage and whatnot. Okay, and you know, everything I'm about to talk about, understand that, you know, there's guys that may do it a different way, but everything I'm going to disclose to you, like, it makes up like 5 to 7% of control. You know what I mean? And overall makes up 100%. So one of the things to start off with is, I'm sure you've heard, the old moto thing was always keep your elbows up.
Yeah.
Keep your elbows up, okay? Elbows up for better leverage. But in my opinion, I've learned over the years that it actually starts with your hands, how you hold on to the dirt bike, okay? So to keep your elbows up, you have to alter your hand position. Turn your hands sideways, more like you're grabbing a doorknob as far as relates to your throttle on an angle. So your palms pushed out and over grip a little bit. You want to over grip a little bit to raise your elbow up. I say this because what I see a lot is guys' forearms are level with the ground. When they're level with the ground, a lot of times they reach for the handlebar, straight in, okay? And when they straight in, positions their elbow low, and this is bad for a lot of reasons, okay? So elbows up, palm out, and over grip, over grip. Now, the reason that's good is because it allows me to, in a sitting position, as I accelerate, what you want to do is you want to get your head a little bit more forward. As your head goes forward, you're leading the dirt bike with your head, and you're creating momentum. Plus, it's a good thing sometimes to have, and there's always an exception, that's why I say sometimes, weight over the front end, okay? Weight over the front end for traction, okay, in certain circumstances. So, but let's go to the wrong way. I want to talk about, always like to talk about the wrong way as well. Low, straight, forearms low to the ground. As I accelerate, head goes forward. With my forearms and hands in this position, am I ever going to get here where I'm, where I should be? No, because I don't have what on my handlebars? Leverage?
Yeah, not enough motion.
Yeah. Okay, so I need to have better leverage, better control. So that's one reason why this is good. Elbows up, hand position, and understand that the hand position, I like to always have a telltale so the rider knows if he's doing it correctly. You'll see like a pizza pie grip between the pointy between your pointer and your thumb. You'll see in the webbing, you'll see a little bit of pizza pie of a grip because your hand's on an angle. Okay. As far as sitting, your feet position, try and keep your feet more on the balls of the foot. Balls of the foot. Why? Because as you accelerate, it's like you're in the starting blocks, to a run or something. You're keeping yourself forward. Keep yourself forward as you accelerate. Helps. Your foot position helps keep you forward. A lot of times, you mentioned KLX 110. It had the motor stuck out, right?
Yeah.
Kind of wide.
Yeah, kind of wide.
I noticed that a lot of kids that learn on that, they have a bad habit of their feet are out like this when they get on a regular bike. A lot of times because they learned on that.
Yeah.
They were like that too. And just understand it's a bad habit. You want to keep your feet turned in more towards the dirt bike.
Yeah.
It's not just pinch with your knees. Everybody thinks pinch with your knees, but it's more turn your feet in towards the bike so you have grip all the way up through the inseam of your boot, your ankle, all the way up through your knee. Okay. So that's one of the things we're going to talk about. Now, as far as seated, balls of the foot, not the arch, balls of the foot. It's going to be tough sometimes, but I don't cover the brake pedal. Meaning, this is what's happening when I go for the brake. I'm going to keep my foot tight to the bike, find the brake pedal, and actuate it as much as possible. Do you ride with your foot over the brake, covering it? No? Never thought about it?
I think sometimes if I do think about it, I think I sometimes cover, but I don't think normally I do.
Okay. Okay. Do you stand a lot, sit a lot?
I stand a lot.
Okay. Cool. It's different when I start asking you questions about what you do because you're like, what do I do?
Yeah, I don't
What do I do? I'm not sure. But that's the thing about today, it allows you to think about things.
Yeah.
I mean, when I first started doing schools, I was like, man, I don't know, what do I do? In order to tell somebody, and then a lot of times it may be better because, man, that's pretty dumb, that don't make sense, So it may be better. You may understand it better too, so that's one of the things you're going to get out of today. So, okay, back to feet, turn in towards the bike, my hand position, elbows up. Now the reason this is good is because it allows the transition between sitting to standing to be so much easier, okay? Standing, home position, feet on the balls of the foot peg, knees over top of the foot peg is your home position. Just about straight, and then a bend in your elbow. Okay, bend in your elbow, lowers your center of gravity, puts your head more over the front end, putting weight on the front end. As I accelerate, my head's going forward like I said before, okay? Now, back to the wrong way again. I just want to demonstrate and show you something. A lot of times when guys hold on low and straight, and they go to stand, because they're holding on the way they are, they don't over grip, this is the way they stand. Now, see how my knees are kind of bent?
Yeah.
What do you think my thighs are going to be like after about 2 minutes?
Insanely tight.
Yes, they're going to be screaming, dude, sit down!
Yeah.
That kind of deal. So understand that your hands is crucial to having good posture while standing, good position, body position, okay? So, again, balls of the foot, on the foot peg, knees over top of the foot peg, bending my elbow, okay? Now, something I always kind of point out to guys is understand that weight on the front end is a good thing in turns, yes? The turn you can stand around?
Yeah.
Yes?
In a turn you can stand around?
Yeah.
Right.
Have you ever had a front wheel washout?
No.
No. Good.
Yeah.
Good. Do you stand around turns?
No.
No. You don't feel comfortable doing it? You said you stand a lot, but...
Yeah, usually the stuff we do where I'm standing a lot is over whoops. We have a lot of whoops in our trails, so it's like, that's usually why I'm standing a lot. We have, Murphy's Pit?
Yeah,
Yep.
it's coming down.
Yeah, we,
Yep.
that's
I've been there. I got some good stories behind
yeah,
it.
I'll sit down in those turns. Like when I do the track there a couple times, I'll get real up on the gas tank and sit down.
Okay.
But I don't usually.
Yep.
I've never had a front end washout.
Cool. All right. Good thing. Understand what I was getting at is a turn you can stand around, in my opinion, is anything less than a 90. It depends on the arc of the turn. Okay. And a lot of times, what guys will do is they'll bend their legs and everything. Where's the weight right now? I bend my knees.
All on the back.
All on the back of the butt. So for whoops, this is where I want my knees to be bent over top of the foot peg, and my body weight, my butt is back. Correct? Getting the weight up in front of me. But what they tend to do is do the same thing in a situation where it's a turn you can stand around, takes weight up front end. A lot of times it washes up and pushes over the turn. Understand that where your knees are while standing are very crucial to what puts weight on what tire. In the apex of a turn, if it's a turn you can stand around, just by simply going forward with your knees, you put weight where now? On the front, right? So just something for you to think about. There is some stuff where it's a little dog leggy. I say dog leggy, meaning just a couple dog leg turns, less than a 90 back and forth where you weave through trees, where you might feel more comfortable standing. So it's something for you to think about. All right. Always think about your knees in relation to what's going on and the foot peg, where you want them. Okay, over top of the foot peg, bent back, all right. I say a lot, so sorry. One thing I didn't cover, levers. A lot of kids say old school, but as far as keeping your elbows up and your hand position proper, I always have the levers down a little bit. The new thing is for a lot of kids is they have their levers straight and level with the ground.
That's hard when you stand up, right?
Yeah, it's hard when you stand up. A lot of times they're making it work for them just because they steer more with the back of the bike.
Yeah.
Okay. But I'd rather have it more down on an angle, so from my fingertip to my elbow, it's kind of a flow.
Yeah.
If I put the lever level, a lot of times that kink comes back in my wrist, it's going to cause my elbow to drop.
Yeah.
I don't cover the front brake, but I use the front brake at just about every turn. As I'm shutting off my pointer or my middle, and I say I'm going back and forth because I noticed I started doing that lately, and I think it's just old age. And I always cover the clutch. Now, as a newbie,
Yeah, I always cover the clutch.
okay, great. That's one thing that, as a newbie, I want you to understand, covering the clutch. And why is that, in your opinion?
I just feel more comfortable.
Okay.
I feel like I have well, we actually had a thing
He
where.
had an incident where his carburetor stuck.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Piece of
good
sand.
time. I remember I liked that way when I was like 15.
Yeah, it's scared the
That's what
shit out
everybody
of
says.
me.
He didn't. I mean, he was lucky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were coming back from Murphy's, and I think a piece of sand got stuck in my slide.
In there.
Yeah, and it just like, I was like, the throttle was all the way cranked back, and it was just revving out.
Yep.
I just started freaking out, so I just pulled the clutch and shifted down. I was like, oh.
Thank God you had that time to think.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy when that happens? The bike goes so fast.
Oh my god. It's like 10 times faster than I forget.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's like, man, this thing is never going so fast. But yes, okay, think of the clutch as another brake. And a lot of times if guys don't cover it, they get in that position that, you said it was in whoops, correct, where your throttle stuck? And a lot of times if they're not covering the clutch and you're back here on whoops, throttle's on.
Whiskey throttle.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you get bucked. And a lot of times when you get bucked, because your weight's already back, you're just gonna keep going back further. In this position, without a finger on the clutch, can I shut the bike off?
You know,
No. But at least if I have a finger covering the clutch,
it'll just disconnect.
yep, kills power and regain my composure. The other thing is in the trees, a lot of times, if it's tighter, you catch a tree, sometimes with hand guards, pinball effect, back and forth, at least you have the clutch to stop power to the rear wheel and stop the front wheel from driving, so you can regain your composure. So always have a finger on the clutch.
Yes.
But you don't reach for it with all 4 fingers.
Nah, just use one.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Either your middle or your pointer is fine. I'm all about the pointer more, or I'm sorry, your middle, because it allows me, I feel just more comfortable holding on like that. But also, by doing so, it allows me to have that better grip that I was talking about with my palm pushed out. A lot of times when I go for pointer, in relation to where the bend is in the lever, it brings my hand back in and then causes my elbow to drop. It's not a big thing, but it's just a small little thing to think about. Okay. 2 more things, and this is something I always finish with when we're doing this stuff is for a class, is breathing and looking up, and I always start with it when we leave. Let's talk about looking up first. The faster you go, the further ahead you gotta look. Okay, so to be more ready for stuff. The simple thing is, if the bike's coming out of a turn, right now I'm coming out of a turn and the bike's just standing up, and 30 yards in front of me is the next turn.
Yeah.
I come out of the turn, I'm looking at the top of my goggles and scanning the trail to the next turn.
Yeah.
And then back to the front wheel. So it's a constant scan forward and back. What is common among a lot of people is just a constant scan right here. Constant scan right here is very speed limiting, and also you're not ready for obstacles. For instance, if there's a log half that distance, a 30-yard distance or whatever, because I scanned the trail all the way to the next turn, I've seen the log obviously, so I'm aware that's coming. Okay? And a lot of times it just helps you be more consistent with the throttle. When you're here, a lot of times you're letting off. And it allows you just to pick a straighter, better line a lot of times too, because say the obstacle isn't a log, say it's a rut. Okay? A lot of times, and I'm laughing because I've seen this, I don't know if you've seen this. The guy follows the rut and his bike's in it. By the time, he sees it's too late, he's already in the rut, gets off and he's on flat ground.
Yeah.
You ever seen something like that?
I think in a couple races.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like, well dude, how come you didn't see the line where you're standing now, just to either side of the rut? A lot of times it's because we focus on that 12, 16-inch window of trail and we don't see that rut until it's too late.
Yeah.
Okay. By looking up, you can point A to point B a lot and see the rut, see there's a line right alongside. Sounds crazy, but it's very, very common. So just remember, always looking up. I always like to tell guys, it used to be look ahead, but nowadays I try and tell people to hold your head up. The more you hold your head up, the more is in your peripheral, the more ready you are for stuff. Okay? And it also is very crucial in a turn. In a turn, and then it's not always easy to do in the woods because of sometimes woods turns are brushy. A lot of brush on the inside, a lot of green, especially this time of year. But always think of it in terms of bike lengths. 1 to 2 bike lengths, scan through the turn. A lot of times guys will fixate, stop looking. Fixate's a big word for me, by the way.
Target fixate.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You tell me about that one.
Yeah.
How do you mean?
Like you'll hit something because you're focused on it.
Oh, exactly.
Like this, I don't want to hit that bike, but
Yeah, because you're looking at it, right?
Yeah, it's happened on, friends of mine who I've been riding with. I'm like,
Yep.
how did you hit the guy's back tire?
Yeah.
It's like I focused on it.
Yeah, exactly. Isn't that funny how that happens?
Yeah.
Or you're going by a tree, and then I've seen it before. Like I was looking at the tree, and they're actually saying, "Don't hit the tree, don't."
Right.
Dude, that's where you went wrong, and boom.
Yeah.
So, but yes, is the trees in your peripheral? Yes, they're in your peripheral, but it's all timing.
Yeah.
It's not like you're looking right at it. You look where you want to go.
Yeah.
It's funny because I wouldn't say the best trail reader, but one of the things that helps me is I always ask myself, where do I want my front wheel? In relation to looking as far ahead as I can. Because a lot of times that will avoid a rut, avoid some whoops. You're right, I like to avoid whoops.
Yeah.
But as far as like roots and stuff like that, where you hit the root
Yeah.
is very crucial. If there's some sand or dirt to one side of the trail and it's not exposed, that's where I'm going. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to drive directly over that root. A lot of times your front wheel can deflect or whatever.
One of those jackknife
Yes.
things, yeah.
Yes. I'm studying for CDL, so jackknife. I don't know all about jackknife. All right, so back to what we're talking about as far as just looking ahead. It's also crucial in a turn. Think of bike length. 1 to 2 bike lengths through the turn, a constant scan. You want to lean your head in, but also have that constant gaze through the turn. Okay. Breathing. I learned this years ago. Endurocross is very physically demanding. It's a lot of obstacles. Your dad said you follow a lot of extreme stuff.
Yeah, I like the hard enduro.
Big Graham Jarvis fan. I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
This dude, he's like a year older than me.
Yeah.
He's still running the game.
Dude.
That's what caught my.
That's what's
like
like,
an old guy is doing this.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. I love it because the better he does. Because he used to just irritate me.
Yeah.
Because he's so talented, Now I'm like, dude, he's still doing good.
Keep
He's like
going, yeah.
So it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Breathing. Endurocross very crucial. Very physically demanding. So one of the things I learned there was how you breathe. I ride with my mouth open, and because I'm a dumb redneck, I don't like to focus on too many things, but it's just focus on one thing, and that's ride with mouth open and blow out. So it's simple, like.
I think I caught myself with my mouth open a couple times.
Some bugs maybe.
Yeah, I was gonna say the only thing you gotta be conscious of is you don't want to be catching no flies or getting a rooster tail from your buddy.
I've had that happen. Take the helmet off, you got like a full
Yeah.
OT.
Yeah, but I've been doing this since I was 5, and I've eaten my share of dirt. It don't hurt you.
It comes out eventually.
Yeah, we are. But you ride your mouth open and with me a couple times. Just focus on, ready, Dad, you two. Blow out, hesitate. 2 more. I know we look like goons, but it's okay. Now, what does your body do in between each time you blow out that you don't think about?
I'm not thinking about it, I don't know.
You take air in.
Yeah, I'm not thinking about that.
Yeah. You're actually taking air in order to blow out one more time, the next time. And you're more relaxed. Versus, because what usually happens in a technical situation, a lot of times, enduro cross or logs or any kind of technical stuff in the woods that we encounter, a lot of times we tense up. And when you tense up, your grip especially, your torso and everything tenses, and you actually are holding your breath for periods of time. When you hold your breath, you ride more tense. Focus on your breathing, and just remember to constantly do that. It's going to be more relaxed. The other thing is, in my opinion, guys, breathe more forceful. When you breathe forceful, as far as just like when the doctor puts a stethoscope on your back to tell you to take a deep breath, like, okay,
Yeah.
now take a deep breath in.
Yeah.
When you actually focus on that deep breath in, you're tensing everything up. Okay? Versus when you just focus on blowing out, there's no
Yeah.
tension. It's more relaxed. So,
Makes
would you say you get a little bit tense in certain situations when you're riding, trying to get after it? No?
I think I'm pretty good with like the. I don't think I get too excited for stuff. I think I'm usually right where it's supposed to be.
We ski in the trees a lot. which
Yeah,
is
we're
a
pretty
lot
good.
of,
I'm pretty
like,
used to line
finding a
picking
line.
and stuff.
That's cool.
Mountain biking and stuff like that.
That's
yeah.
cool. Yeah, and coming from the mountain biking, a lot of stuff will transfer over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And you probably don't know what arm pump is, do you?
I've had it a couple times.
Okay, cool. Like sometimes young kids are like, "What's arm pump?"
Yeah.
I'm like,
Oh
"What
my
do you
God,
mean?"
it's cool.
So that's cool. But the breathing part, in my opinion, of arm pump is there's so many contributing variables.
Yeah.
But one of the main ones is breathing.
Yeah.
Guys, hold on to that. Well, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed that information, and please comment, please subscribe, like. You can even dislike. I'm okay with that. So, talk to you all soon.